Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Isupk. This Isupk Milwaukee coming. This is the Isupk coming out of Harlem, 125th Street, 1 West, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with no Israelite groups, period. I am Officer Kananya. This is Isupk Milwaukee. Shalom. What's going on out there today? We're gonna be learning about this how the so-called white man, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of, all throughout history, how he's put us one against each other and had us clashing throughout history. It's always been there. Matter of fact, before I get into that, make sure y'all gear up and get your hotels together, get your travels together, bring some extra change, because I know y'all, it's Detroit, you know what I'm saying? The Midwest Fire Weekend in Detroit. You know, they got a lot of monuments, they got a lot of tourist attractions. So you want to bring some little extra change for that. Have your extra change for your rentals, have some extra money, just to, help out the vendors that's going to be there, which is, obviously the brothers and sisters, they down there selling t-shirts, their apparel, their chains, wrist watches. Some of them even got boots, rings, whatever you want, we got in the Isupk. And there's going to be a lot of that being sold out there. Midwest Fire Weekend in Detroit. Make sure you have your places to stay. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait too late, because it's almost about a month left. July, August. Yep. A month left. Today is June 1st. You got 1 month to get prepared. It's gonna be glorious. You know what I mean? I've never been to Detroit personally. I always wanted to go there just because of how, I was into the whole music scene, the music culture, what they had, the jazz. If I'm not mistaken, they had the jazz, they had the soul, they had the Motown, things of that nature. I always wanted to visit Detroit because of that. But this year is the Midwest Fire Weekend is going to be in Detroit this year. It's usually in Chicago and the surrounding areas, but this year is going to be in Detroit. I know from Milwaukee to Detroit is maybe about 6 hours, a 6-hour drive or something, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure y'all have y'all $200, no, it's $250 fee, pay that. I think the deadline is coming up too as well for that. Yeah, it's gonna be a glorious scene. Looking forward to seeing what kind of food they got. I was a skinny man when I came into the truth. Now I'm getting up there. Thanks to all the good food all the sisters be making. Some of that barbecue the brothers be on the grill grilling. Shout out to Tabaka Naj. He a monster on that grill. You feel me? But yeah, get prepared, man. The Midwest Fire Weekend is gonna be litty. We're gonna be turning up out there. Good music, good food, brotherhood and sisterhood. Bring your cameras. If you got digital cameras, take some. This is gonna be a movie, so you might want to get some memories out here. Take a lot of pictures. Post them on social media. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the best memories, the ones that you can post, or if you can't post them, just the memories to yourself. This is the Isupk Milwaukee. I'm Officer Kananya. The topic of today is history. And the premise around this history is going to be how the powers that be, the powers that run America, the powers that divides America, the powers that try to disguise America as being a great place. These are the people that always excuse my French, try to put sugar on shit. Salakia. They try to make the best they try to make the worst things look the best, and which is just not the case, because according to other countries, they want everybody America shows them this great commercials of this being a great city, of this being just a place to live, the American dream, the land of the free, what else? Land of the free, home of the brave. When we know that's not the case, it's the land of the spiritually under attack and the home of the slaves. They tried to come conquer this place. Well, they succeeded in conquering this place. That's why it's called America today. And that's the same goes for Africa. Africa wasn't always called Africa either. But today, the premise of today's subject matter, which is history, the premise of it is, I want to show y'all how they always put us against each other, whether it be the old versus young, the men versus the women, the light against the dark, the haves against the have-nots. What else? What else? They always try to have us going against each other so we can destroy each other, and they'd be sitting back with their feet up, kicked up, like they actually watching a real movie. That it always been like that throughout history. And we can keep going with the verses, like the gays versus the straights, what else? The submissive women against the masculine women, the feminine man against the masculine man, the list goes on, and then you can even take it even pettier than that, which is what? The long hair versus the short hair. I don't know. The clean tennis shoes versus the dirty tennis shoes. I don't know. In every category or in everything, they try to turn us away from being side by side and turn us this way to being head to head against each other. And the Bible says a house divided against itself cannot stand. If somebody believe in one thing and the other person believe in the other thing, it's going to always be a clash. It's going to always be a clash. That's why I recommend the Isupk, the teachings of the Isupk, the truth, because the truth allows you no wiggle room, so to speak. If you know the truth, it's hard to unlearn the truth. The only way that you're gonna have random questions pop up in your mind is maybe the internet or people that's outside of this truth getting into your head, making you think otherwise or making you think this way and that way. That's the only way it can cause friction. The only way you could have doubts in your mind that this is where you're supposed to be at in life at this time, which is in the Isupk, so. And something else I wanted to mention too, about the secret societies and all that. Like, it always in America or throughout history, period, it's always been a secret society. The secret society people is the one who actually killed Jesus. They like the prayers say, they have taken crafty counsel. You know what I'm saying? And since the beginning, they've been doing that, plotting against us, trying to make little plans and, things of this nature. If they've been talking like that amongst themselves, that's a secret society. Certain people know certain hand signals, all that type of deal. It's a secret society. And they pay the ignorant people of us, they pay them to carry out their agendas. You know what I'm saying? I.e. Malcolm X. They paid them brothers to shoot Malcolm X, to his own people. You know what I'm saying? Crazy work, but that's just showing another way of us being divided against each other, because them brothers were able to be bought by the white man's wealth. They were able to be bought. The white man's offered them some type of whatever. I'm not sure what they offered them, but the secret societies offered them that. You know what I mean? It's always been a secret group plotting against the children of Israel throughout history, at all times. So even during slavery time, when we just got released from slavery, what was the secret societies back then? The slave patrol, the what else? Just the KKK. That's a secret society. These biker gangs out here, they low key worship somebody other than the Jesus of the Bible, somebody other than Yahushua of the Bible. They in a witchcraft, and that's a secret society. These witches and things, they are real. These people out here doing Lord knows what with the powers that they think they have, which is only one power, and that's of the God, that's of God of the Bible. They think they got powers or whatever, but they using them for negativity and all this old stuff, which is all boiled down to a secret society. We don't know what these people doing. We don't know. And then when it comes to like the music industry, most of these newer artists, they just popped up out of nowhere. You didn't see their come up story. You don't know where they came from. They've been paid and being pushed to us. That's why you have the Sexy Reds, the Ice Spices, the list goes on and on. You know what I mean? That's why you have these, and all their music is talking about shaking their tails, which is an agenda to get all our women to be. See, it's some things that I want to say, but I don't know if that's gonna get us banned or get us, what you call that, YouTube jail, because I think my personal account on Instagram, I think I'm in jail because it said I can't go live for 30 days or I can't post for 30 days, and all I'll be saying is the truth on there. They must got something in their community guidelines or whatever that says you can't be truthful, which is another secret society thing, because and in this land we're supposed to be able to have freedom of speech, but on this app we can't say whatever we want. That's taking away our freedom of speech. Like it's just a tricky thing that you have to be careful for, and it's also confusing. Like, how do we in this country, how do we have freedom of speech, but on these apps we don't have freedom of speech? We can't tell the truth. They just want to push roses and bubble gums and let everybody and everything is accepted in America, but not on the apps though. You, Lord forbid, you tell truth on that app, they're gonna ban you from that. That's why they working so hard to try to ban TikTok, because I don't know if it's a China app or it's from China. I don't know who created that app, but a lot of truth be getting released on there, and the powers that be in America, the secret societies, they don't like that. They would rather tell you a beautiful lie than the ugly truth. You know what I mean? And that's real heavy too, right there. They would rather tell you a beautiful lie, butter you up, get your feelings all googly inside. You know what I'm saying? Than telling the truth, which can help you. The truth can help you act accordingly, or live righteous, or like it's just all benefits from the truth. And when you've been being told a lie, sooner or later somebody's going to come tell you the truth. Then you're going to be mad at the person that told you that lie, just like we are mad at the so-called white man, which is the devil that the Bible speak of, for telling us these lies of America. He told us that we can come together and be one. He told us that we can, kumbaya, my Lord, all that type of deal, when that's not the case. And we see it in so many things on the social media today, where that racist devil spirit that's in these white people, it comes out. It's shown everywhere. So I just can't see how, out of all these years of them doing us dirty, out of all these years of them showing their true colors, out of all these years that What else? All these years, they tell us they butter you up. Like, no, we not racist. And then they give you some hush money. Like they try to show you. Let me see. Pacify you. They pacify you with music. See, music is the one tool that everybody falls in it's like hypnosis. As soon as you hear like a song, you don't care what the words say. You just think the beat is good, and that's something that's totally backwards. You're supposed to be able to decode what these people are saying on these records, on these songs, and seeing if that's negative or positive. You know, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, and I always go like far left off topic, but I'm gonna bring it back to the topic. But I probably mentioned this in one of my classes, but the mid '90s, the government, I forgot her. Let me look that up one time. Salaki. Hold on. The one of the politicians was mad at I think it was Uncle Luke or Tupac or Ice Cube. They was mad at the male rappers in the '90s, right? Damn, all these tabs up. For excuse my French, calling women bitches and stuff like that. Bitches and hoes, you know what I'm saying? But where is the government for today's rap, for today's lyrics and rap? When women talk about, booty hole brown and all this selling sex and wet ass pussy and all this salakia, WAP, all this WAP getting sold out here. Where is the government stepping in for this? So bear with me one time, Salaki. Parental advisory. That whole thing where they was like, they come on before that Bone Thugs and Harmony song. We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those thugs. Like, where's those type of people talking about the rap today? You don't hear that. They just let everything fly because they want us corrupted. They want our women corrupted. They want them free thinking of independence and all that. Just like what is it? They want them they listen, man. They want women to break away from being with men because they want single parent households. Why? Because in the jails and in the prisons, most of them men were raised by a single parent in a single parent household. Single mothers. They want us to be separated like that, so the men can run wild over. It takes a man to raise a man. Like, it takes a man to get that young man in check and to have them doing manly things. Sometimes women be going off the Richter with their emotions and yelling. What else? All that type of deal. They, but it takes a man to discipline that male child, because how you gonna know how to act? If he not raised by that male, if he raised by TV or a single parent woman, his sisters, what else? The internet, video games, all these things together is creating one big emotional child. The child is going to be emotional, just like the mother is, or whoever he's been around. If they're emotional, he's going. These type of dang, I can't remember nothing today. These type of these type of behaviors rub off on the kid. You know, it depends on who you've been around. If you've been around a lot of women coming up, and you're a man, you're gonna have some women mannerisms, or some emotional type of attitudes, or just I don't know how I got here, but oh yeah, shout out to Isupk. Isupk on the track. I mean on the Slovakia. Yeah, Isupk up in the building. What I was getting at, I don't know how I came to that, but how they divide the household, how the household divides. The mother kicks the male out, or the male kicks the woman out. Now they both single parents. So if it's ever martial law, now martial law, I don't know if y'all ever seen like the aftermath of like a twister or a flood. I said a twister, or a tornado. Ain't twister and tornado same thing? Yeah, I think. If y'all ever seen the aftermath of a twister or a tornado or a hurricane, something that floods a city, like let's take New Orleans for example. Something that floods a city, floods your house, have you on a mass evacuation, and these people can come to your house, even if you own the house. These so-called rescuers can come to your house. Check. They don't really even have to check it out. They can come to your house if it's a single parent mother home or a single father home with a lot of kids or whatever the case is. They have the discretion to say, "Oh, this house is condemned," or "This is, y'all can't be in here. Y'all got to evacuate immediately." They have that power, and it's much easier for a single parent home for that to happen to, because ain't no what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember nothing. I just watched it before I turn it on. It ain't that big of a pushback if it's a single parent home, or it ain't that big of a fight if it's a single parent home, or it ain't that big of a defense if it's a single parent home. Like these militias, these militia groups that like they go like, and it may be a conspiracy theorist. May not be. What was that place that just got recently, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, flooded? Was it Mississippi? Salakia, bear with me one more time. Let me check this because I really want to get this out. Let me check this real quick. Most recent flood in America. I said America, niggas. The United States has experienced many floods in recent years. No, that's not what I'm looking for. The tropic disturbance caused public note. Atmospheric river brought record rainfall to Washington and Oregon. No, man, I forgot what city it was in. And I really let me try one more search because I really wanted to get this accurate. Let me try most recent. It's and again, I didn't hear about this. We see news like this go over our heads and stuff like that. It says that a tornado just touched down June 7th. this year. But we didn't hear about no tornadoes. I definitely didn't hear about that. Was it Buffalo? No, Buffalo had that snowstorm. Um, Buffalo had that snowstorm, and Hawaii had that fire. But it was a flood in the United States, and some man, I can't think right now, and it's not coming up. Let me see. Let's try hurricane. See, it's not showing up. See, this is why I don't like Google. Google. This is why I do not like Google. But it was a recent flood that maybe within the last, I say 4 or 5 years, it was a flood in somewhere in the United States. Man, see that sounds like. Let me try at least one more time before I just go off, because I really want to get this right. Okay. Was it hurt? And then and then it's like a joke being played because they name all the hurricanes. Like, it's crazy work. I think it says it was the last one was 2019, named Hurricane Dorian. Hurricane Dorian. Let's just look it up. Let's just look at it. Man, I need to go ahead and give me an iPhone. Or do I? Oh, wait. You say 2020. See, it don't show where it was at though. Where was excuse me. No, let me just read this thing real quick, because I don't think this is the one that I was talking about, but it says Hurricane Dorian, an extremely powerful and catastrophic Category 5 Atlantic hurricane, which became the most intense tropical cyclone on record to strike the Bahamas and tied for strongest landfall in the Atlantic basin. It is also regarded as the worst natural disaster in the Bahamas recorded history. Now, speaking of these hurricanes, some of these hurricanes was some of these floods, I don't want to say hurricane because it was a flood. Some of these floods was self-inflicted by America to America. Like, then it might be a conspiracy theorist. It might be a conspiracy theorist. A conspiracy. I ain't saying that America did do this to itself. I ain't saying that they didn't do it to itself, but it looked mighty suspicious when you have rappers rapping about it and talking about they heard explosions of the levees and Lil Wayne talking about the hurricane in Louisiana, and then he said the same thing happened in Hurricane Bessie in 1965. Like, you have to do your research on these things, because America does do that. Just like throughout history, America put the drugs into our communities. America put the guns into our communities, and then complain when we actually start moving the drugs or start using these things or utilizing these things, that y'all the one brought this stuff over here. We don't have access to boats and airplanes to bring this stuff from foreign countries on into the United States. Y'all the ones that did that. You know what I'm saying? They the ones who, put all these labels on the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American communities, saying that we so negative. But y'all the ones who gave us the drugs. Y'all the one who gave us these guns. Little kids having guns. Little kids having drugs. Y'all the one. And then what make it so bad is we made the drug scene, the drug dealers seem cool in the neighborhoods. You got a man over here selling straight crack in the building, and nobody is. And to see again, another thing, they made this no snitching a culture within the streets. That's how drug dealing prevailed and continued to get bigger and bigger as the years went on. I say from the late 70s. I think in the 70s they was promoting a lot of marijuana, right? And back then it was love is love then. See, they continue to push these agendas. They'll wait on the agenda, then push that agenda. They'll wait on this agenda, but then push that agenda. That's what was happening in the late 70s, the marijuana, when everybody was high. It was normal for people to get high in the 70s off marijuana. It was a whole culture. The whole hippie thing. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole culture. And then what happened? The 80s hit, then the crack, the drug called crack, which devastated the inner cities. And somebody, like I was saying it before, these secret societies did their research on that. They definitely knew that it was going to do something negative to the neighborhoods and the barrios that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans live in. Because again, we didn't go to ourselves we didn't go and get these drugs and ship them to America, smuggle them to America by airplane, boat, train. It's a lot of different methods that they was, and even more, like police was in on it, government officials, government people in higher ups. They put these drugs in our community just so they can start a thing called war on drugs. Now you got police riding through your city looking for people on drugs or selling drugs. They paying people to go undercover, you know what I'm saying, to send people up the river, man. Straight like that. They telling on each other, sending this person in jail, sending that person in jail for drugs that we didn't even bring in here. Y'all started that's how, like I was saying earlier, when I first said the class is going to be about how they turn woman and man against each other all throughout history. Whether it been the man leaving the woman, whether it been the woman leaving the man, whether it been the woman getting strung out on drugs, leaving the kids, or whether it been the man selling the drugs, getting thrown in jail for 10s and 20s and 30s of years. The division that made it more easier for the government to come in there, made it more easier for the so-called white man to try to, cause that wedge in between us. And that even goes back further than the Jim Crow law, where you had, before the Jim Crow law, when we was actually in slavery, you had that house nigga, and then you had the field nigga. You know what I mean? They show it. I think it's a good depiction of it in the movie Django, where you had Samuel L. Jackson as the house nigga, and he talking about who is that nigga up there on that nag now. It's crazy. It's like, hold on. It's not funny, but they try to make it a comedy so we can laugh it off. That's just like how they did the transsexual agenda. Like they trying to divide us. And that's let me I'm gonna get back to you. Hold on one second. And that's another way to divide us. They turning our men, they making our men want to be women, dress like women, act, talk like women, do the same thing women do. But when us, the Isupk, we come out, and these are some of the things that I be getting put in Instagram jail for, Facebook jail. I come on, say the truth. You supposed to be this way. You supposed to be that way. And what they hit me with, oh, your comment was harmful. Like, how was it? This image is harmful. Like they play these mind games on. They play these games on these apps to where they making it to where you really can't say nothing about it. You have to let it go on. And you know what we say around here? Silence is acceptance. So we ain't being silent about that. I don't care how much I get banned on that, because the Bible is against it. So therefore we are against it. We follow this joint, Salaki for calling the Bible joint. We follow these holy scriptures to the T. If we know that it's wrong, if we need to see it, and that's how some of us is. Well, show me that in the Bible. As soon as we see it in the Bible, done. We start doing what it say in the Bible. Oh, it do say that, huh? Okay, then I ain't gonna do that no more. Done. It's as simple as that. But you got American people turning the men so sensitive and turning the women so masculine. It puts us against each other. That's why you have all these podcasts where these women and men, you have these women talking down on men. A man should be like this. A man should be like that. I'm not doing this for a man. I'm not. What can a man do for me? And all this old thing. Then you got the man saying, in many cases on these podcasts, dang, what, man, see, I forgot a lot of the stuff that I was gonna say. But then you have the men on these podcasts talking down on the women. You know what I'm saying? Turning these women into, because women just do what the men do ultimately. They just want to do what we can do, and that's not the case. Y'all can't, and that's what the Lord said. We is not the same. So men can't do what women do. Women can't do what men do. But it seems like somehow the women have a problem. We okay with not being able to do what a woman do. We're okay with that. Well, as soon as you tell a woman, oh, you can't do what a man can do. Oh, why not? Oh, women rights. Oh, feminine. It's like it's just a big divide. Women should be in a feminine energy, soft, delicate, soft-spoken. Men do all the yelling. Men do that that tough talk, that what I'm saying, that nigga talk, you know what I'm talking about? I ain't saying women don't do it, but I'm saying women not supposed to be that way towards the men. Women not supposed to be yelling all, trying to be on the same level as a man, being masculine, being loud towards a man. I mean, women can talk that way amongst women. You know what I'm saying? That will be a good conversation amongst the women. Women talk like that towards women. Okay, cool. But the problem becomes when a woman starts trying to talk that way to a man, or trying to be on that same masculine level as a man, when we know that it's not your fault that you're doing that, and it's not our fault that we don't like it. I'm in class. I mean, it's not our fault that we like this way. It's all a tool to put us against each other, because two masculines can't coexist together. You have to have a masculine and a feminine. But the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speak of, turned this woman into some type of masculine figure. Now she all tough. She's tough and she wanna, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the case is, but they just be trying to do what the men can do. And that's not their fault. That's the so-called white man, the so-called devil's fault. He the one told them, y'all can do the same. Go out and get a job. Y'all can do the same thing a man can do. Go out there and military, police officers, what else? Positions of power, telling men what to do and all that. That's out of order. And Salaki, I don't know where I was going with that, but I do know where I was going with that. They turned the woman and turned her all the way around from being feminine to being masculine. They did the same thing with the men. That's why men is trying to be in these women's sports. They're trying to take over these women's spaces, go in these women's bathrooms. You actually see these homosexual men and these transitional men, whatever they call themselves these days, actually trying to fight women, like literally fight women. And man, it's a horrible sight to see, because you sometimes you would like to step in for that woman and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, you're still a man, you can't do this and do that. But then the so-called white man put laws in place that it would be. I don't hate this man. I'm just trying to protect my sister from being fought by this man. But then if we put our hands on them, even though we can literally say we don't hate them. We can literally say we don't hate these people. But soon as some type of altercation happens, soon as, you know, the cupcake get, I don't know if I can say it. I'm saying it. I don't know if the cupcake, soon as the cupcake get beat on by a man that likes women, now it's a hate crime. I don't hate them. I'm just protecting my sister. And that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people out here actually allow, and some of it's partially women's fault. I ain't gonna lie, because they allowed these things to happen. They geek a man up to act. It's a big mess. Salakia. They geek these homosexual men up, bring them in their circles, girls' night or something like that. It's a homosexual man with these women. Like, it's supposed to be girls. It's in the title, girls' night out. How is you a man in girls' night? Like, chill out, bro. That's crazy. But what I was getting at is they always put us against each other, you know. Like I was saying before, the Jim Crow. Let's look at the Jim Crow thing for a second. No, matter of fact, a little bit before that, just the light skin versus the dark skin. It's like, now me personally, growing up, that was a big thing. Like, I had no idea why other little boys was mad at me. I had no idea. When I got a little older, it started coming out. Like, they're saying, like, I wouldn't even mention this at all. Like, I'm in 9th grade, 10th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. I'm talking about, you light skin, you think you can get every woman in here. I'm like, I didn't say a word like that. They're like, oh, he light skinned. That's half of the job. Like, what you mean half of the job? I was just born like this. My father is brown skin, bruh. Mom's the one that's light. I got mom's complexion. That's it. Maybe her rough hands, because mom's. But no, I ain't saying her rough hands, but just the way that our hands look is similar. But and nails and how our nails grow and stuff like that. But and the nose. But just the complexion growing up, It was always dark skin against light skin. Like, and even in my neighborhood, like, we used to live here in Milwaukee on 5th and Keith, right? On 5th and Keith, it was a lot of gangbangers over there, mainly vice lords over there. I wasn't into the gangs at that time. I was, what grade I was in? I was in I had to be like in the 6th grade. Yeah, I think I was in the 6th grade at the time. Yeah, the 6th grade. But that was back in the day where if you was light skinned walking the streets, the niggas would try to jump you for no reason, bruh. That's the type of hood we lived in. Niggas will jump you just for being light skinned. Because I couldn't figure out why these niggas was trying to jump me. To save my life, I couldn't figure out why these people was on that with me, basically. But come to find out, it was just because I was light skinned. Salakia. That's the only reason I know of. Or somebody they was with liked me or something like that, because that's what they used to say. You think you cute because you light skin, or all you need to be is light skin. You can get the girls. Like, I don't know nothing about this, bro. I'm just here. Like, but back to the lesson is that's how they put us against each other. Light skin against dark skin. Dark skin want to be light skinned people. Light skin want to be dark skinned people. So they say, but I'm completely fine. And you can ask another dark skinned person; they completely fine. That's just a tool they put in between us to divide us. My own sister even said once said, my oldest sister, you light skinned, you might have some white in your blood. That hurt me to my core. I started doing research on every side of the family. Like, do we have at least one white person in here? Nope. Like, everybody on my mother's side is this complexion. As far as her daddy, my mom's dad, everybody is this complexion. Like, no white. They all light skinned. Everybody on Pop's side, they more like this color. They ain't real dark, but they like brown. And his pops was black though, dark, like his skin burned in the furnace. No, but yeah. So once my sister said that, man, I started doing all kind of research. Like, well, is there some type of white people in this family? I started searching. I went to this family reunion. I went to that family reunion. I asked people. I asked my grandma. Both of my grandfathers passed. So I asked my grandma, both of my grandmas, is anybody white in here? No? Oh, okay. But so then what happened was she ended up being pregnant and had a light-skinned kid. So I still didn't get the chance to come back to her. Like, she must have somebody white in her family. Get right on her heels for that. Because she is dark. She is a dark-skinned woman. And her husband is the same color. It's bronze like this. Bronze like that. I don't know if y'all can see the color of that. It's bronze. But she had a light-skinned kid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, still haven't had a chance to come back and tell her, well, you must got white. She must got white in her family. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case was, but they always put us against each other. Young versus old. I said young versus old or whatever. And the big thing today is women versus men. They want us to clash like that. They want us not to be on that same page so the house can be divided. This is the things that them secret societies, that's their agenda. On top of the LMNOP community agenda. They want everybody to be lesbian and homosexual. And if you're not lesbian or homosexual, they want you to be okay with it, first of all. And if you're not lesbian or homosexual, they want you to be divided from if you're a straight male or straight woman, they don't want you getting along like that. Because then you beat their agendas. They want you constantly at each other's neck, constantly. You know, whether it be the things that you see on social media or, you know, the things that people tell you that are single. And that's the thing too. The single life is being promoted heavily today as well. Like they doing a lot of agendas at once. They throwing it all at you because Esau know that he has but a short time. But today, it's June. Today is June 1st, 2024. It's about to start heating up. Well, it already been heating up as far as the weather, but their agendas that they're pushing is about to be starting to heat. It's about to go blazing now because they throwing everything they can at us. Separation wise, they want single women, single men. If you ain't single, they want you to be LMNOP community. If you ain't that, they want you. If you a straight man, straight woman, they want y'all clashing at all times. Don't let you be a stepfather or a stepmother. The kids gonna be clashing with you on that, what's gonna make the parent, the biological parent, clash with you. Like, and to be all that, all you have to do is come together. Realize the division that the so-called white man is trying to do to the family. The family structure is like it's no more. It's lucky. You know, back in my days, they had TV shows where the family was together. Like even good time. I say even good time, but good times. I think it was a show called The Rock Show or something. The main character was named The Rock. I said named The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, but his name was Rock. His show. What else? Let's bring it up to date a little bit. Martin, even though they had him acting like a homosexual on there, acting like a trans, and that could have been grooming us. It definitely was grooming us. The Martin show was grooming us for what we preparing us to what we gonna see today. Was what we see: men in wigs, in dresses, and skirts, literally trying to be women, which is crazy work. Like, as a man, you know that you can never be a woman. Then on top of that, the division that's caused by that, some of the biological women get mad at that, and rightfully so. Because why? The transgender women, I don't want to put the trannies, the transgenders are trying to take over their bathrooms, their sports. I don't know how shopping as a woman is, but wearing all their clothes in the women's section, all up in the Value Beauty, buying the wigs and nail salons, getting their nails done like women. I'm like, man, when will the fake stop? Smack, when will the fake stop? Crazy work, man. But to combat all that, all we have to do as a family is come together and gel together. Do everything decently and in order. What else? Train up a child. This is everything that I'm saying, it comes straight out this Bible. You know, comes straight out the Bible. I had a couple scriptures today too, but what was it? Joel 2 and I think it was 2 and 27. No, not Joel, but yeah, but that's all we have to do to combat that. And this is what I was gonna do. Look up the Jim Crow law. Let's look up the Jim Crow law, because that's a detrimental thing as well. Let's look it up because I don't. Let's look it up. And who the hell is Jim Crow to make laws? Like, was he in the government thing? Was he a government, like a president or something? Because how he making laws up? That's puzzling. I'll give you a brief little snippet on what it says. It says the Jim Crow laws were state and local laws introduced in the southern United States in the late 19th and early 20th centuries that enforced racial segregation. Jim Crow being pejorative, pejorative, pejorative term for an African American. Such laws remain in force until 1965. Let's look at some of them. Let's look at some of them. Because we about to, when Christ come back, it's gonna be some Israelite laws that's gonna be put in force, and this is gonna be strictly righteous. Man, that's again, I do not like Google. Let's look at Wikipedia. Salaki, y'all, bear with me. I'm getting some of these Jim Crow laws. I read that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start right here because I just read this in the beginning. It says, formal, let me make sure I ain't on mute. Okay. Formal and informal segregation policies were presented in other areas of the United States, even as several states outside the South had banned discrimination in public accommodations and voting. Southern laws were enacted by white-dominated state legislators to disenfranchise and remove political and economic gains made by African Americans. Stop. Y'all can't tell me that ain't going on today. That's definitely going on today. Let's continue. It says, let me read that last sentence again. Southern laws were enacted by white-dominated state legislators to disenfranchise and remove political and economic gains made by African Americans during the Reconstruction era. Such continuing racial segregation was also supported by the successful Lily White movement. It's a movement. It's a movement called the Lily White movement. Wow. That's funny. The Lily White movement. Wow. What was I going to say about that, though? Now, only the devil that the Bible speak of can come up with these Jim Crow laws. It says to stop the gains of the African American. Crazy. Let's continue on, though. In practice, Jim Crow laws mandated racial segregation in all public facilities in the states of former Confederate States of America and in some others beginning in the 1870s. Jim Crow's laws were upheld in 1896 in the case of Plessy versus Ferguson, in which the Supreme Court laid out its separate but equal legal doctrine concerning facilities for African Americans. Moreover, public education had essentially been segregated since its establishment in most of the South after the Civil War in 1861 to 1865. Companion laws excluded almost all African Americans from the vote in the Southern Slovakia. Companion laws excluded almost all African Americans from the vote in the South and deprived them of any representative government. I'm trying to get to some of the laws that they had in place. Although, in theory, the equal segregation doctrine governed public facilities and transportation too. Facilities for African Americans were consistently inferior and underfunded compared to the facilities for white Americans. Sometimes there were no facilities for the Black community at all. It's the devil that the Bible speak of, man. Because how can y'all have a bathroom, but we ain't got nothing? We got a tree. That's nasty work, man. Nasty work. Far from equality as a body of law, Jim Crow institutionalized economic, educational, political, and social disadvantages and second-class citizenship for most African Americans living in the United States. After the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, was founded in 1909, it became involved in a sustained public protests and campaigns against the Jim Crow laws and the so-called separate but equal doctrines. Now we know in the NAACP it's supposed to be Black people in there, so-called Black people, right? We know that, right? But the lady, she was a white woman posing as a Black person, infiltrating, further keeping us separate again. Everything we try to do as separate from them, they got to come in and say, well, what about us? We going to control this. Crazy, man. Crazy. It's lucky. And this is the last paragraph. But I really wanted to get some of the laws. In 1954, segregation of public schools, state-sponsored, was declared unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court in the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka. In some states, it took many years to implement this decision, while the Warren Court continued to rule against Jim Crow legislation in other cases, such as Heart of Atlanta Motel, Inc. versus United States, 1964. In general, the remaining Jim Crow laws were overturned by the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Now, I don't like Google, but I'm finna try to look up some of the laws and some of the things that they were saying that we can and can't do, even though this is supposed to be the land of the free. That's where you get censorship at, starting all the way from Jim Crow. So on these apps that say you can say and do say, because we really ain't doing nothing. We just basically talking. It's these apps that say that we can only say certain things, or if we say certain things, we gonna get banned, or they gonna chop the live, or you know what I'm saying? That goes all the way back to Jim Crow. Believe it or not, it stems from Jim Crow. Let me try to look up some of these laws real quick, Salaki. You have to go to the images to see it. The separate Jim Crow card laws. 14. Let's try this one. And the white man is the devil that the Bible speak of, man. And just looking at these images is crazy. They never liked us in America, even though they brought us over here. They captured us, brung us over here. Ever since they brung us over here, they never left us alone to our own devices. Never. Because what happened when they did? The riots of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The first aerial bombing was on what was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. The first ever time America bombed its own soil was against our people. The so-called white man did that. Every time he does leave us alone and don't interfere with what we're doing, we prosper. Prosper building hospitals, black doctors, what else? Gas stations, food markets, black owned, black shopping. All these things, money was circulating through our community, but the so-called white man didn't want us to prosper past him. So what did he do? He bombed the city. And there's many cases of this, whether it be Rosewood, whether it be the Chicago riots. Like, if you in wherever city you in, if you or wherever city you in or from, type in the city, then type in riot. I bet you it's a riot happened in your city that you don't know about. A race riot at that. In every single city in America or state, riots happen near the city or state or in it. And it was absolutely a race riot. Just type it in, Google it. Better yet, YouTube it. Because YouTube more truthful than Google nowadays. Salakia, it is. They got video. They got fucking video. Salakia. Hold on. But it's still not showing no now don't tell me they wiped it. Let me see. I'm trying to get some of these Jim Crow laws that said what we can and can't do. Because I know the bathroom thing is one of it. One of them. The colored bathroom, the white bathroom. The water fountain. White water fountain, the colored water fountain. Like crazy. And then if you actually look up all throughout history, the so-called white man, even with the words of English, the so-called white man painted the negative image of us. Like if you look up black, the word black, and look up the word white, one is negative, one is not. And I'll let y'all look that up because and it's not showing these Jim Crow laws. And I typed in, what are some Jim Crow laws? That's why I do not like Google. trying to cover his tracks, man. Crazy. And it says separate but not equal. Let me see. Okay, here go one. The National Museum of American History. Let's look at that. Damn, this is a lot. I think I'm gonna read it. Fuck it. Salagi. I'll read it. Now, these are some Jim Crow laws. Bear with me too, because I'm reading is a very small print. So it says, "It shall be unlawful." Like these are scriptures or something. Like he wrote it like these are the scriptures, and which is crazy. It says, "It shall be unlawful for a Negro and a white person to play together or in company with each other in any game of cards or dice, dominoes, or checkers." That was in Birmingham, Alabama in 1930. We actually prefer it that way today. I wish that should be something that should be brought back up. We should bring back up the Jim Crow laws with that right there. Because now, back then, we didn't have many plumbers or many landscapers as black people, but today we do. Landscaping is big business for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Landscaping, plumbing, agriculture. What do you call it when they build a facility? Construction. Like we big business in these areas. You know what I mean? So let me read that one more time. "It shall be unlawful for a Negro and a white person to play together or in company with each other in any game of cards or dice, dominoes, or checkers." That was established in Birmingham, Alabama in 1930. Now, my grandma's still alive. She, if I'm not mistaken, she just turned 100 this year. So 100 years ago, it was like 1904 or something, right? If I'm not mistaken, like 1904, because, okay, 40 years ago, what was that? Okay, we're going to start from the 2000s because I ain't good at math. 40 years ago, what was that? The 60s. 24 years before that, what was that? The 20s. So that was 1920. So that's 84 years right there, 1920 something. So my great grandma was alive during these times. She was born like in 1904, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check and get back with y'all. I'm gonna have that answer with y'all next class. Have that answer for y'all next class. All right. Let's keep reading though. It says, the next one says, "Marriages are void when one party is a white person and the other party is possessed of 1/8 or more Negro, Japanese, or Chinese blood." That's Nebraska, 1911. So if you had 1/8 Negro blood, Chinese or Japanese blood, you wasn't marrying no white people in early 1900s for sure. That's against the laws. See, and then they got more and more. I think I'm gonna keep reading, yeah, because this is very informational. You know, let me read another one. It says, "All railroads carrying passengers in the state other than street railroad shall provide equal but separate accommodations for the white and colored races by providing 2 or more passenger cars for each passenger train, or by dividing the cars by a partition so as to secure separate accommodation." That was in Tennessee, 1891. So this is This keeps going further and further back to let you know how racist the so-called devil that the white man, which is the devil that the Bible speak of, is. Because you only, it's crazy, man. Crazy. See more Jim Crow law. Let's see what else they got. I read that one. Okay. It says, it shall be unlawful for any white prisoner to be handcuffed or otherwise chained or tied to a Negro prisoner. That shit is crazy, Salaki, for the language, but you know how they got the shackles? How it's like, say they transporting like 12 inmates and they shackled together. It's unlawful for a white prisoner to be shackled to a colored prisoner. That's against the law. And when was that? 1903. That's against the law. Crazy work, man. This place must be destroyed, man. And the people there, and the people, this place must be destroyed, and the heathens should go with it. Salaki. Let's keep going though. Oh my God, this one is crazy. No colored barber shall serve as a barber to a white woman or girls. That was in Atlanta, Georgia, 1926. It gets more ridiculous as you read it. I think I got enough time to read the whole thing, so I'm gonna just read the whole thing. Then I'm gonna be done with the Jim Crow laws, because the Jim Crow law is just more proof. Like they said it was a law. They actually made laws upon these things. These ain't God's laws though. So, you know. Let's read. It says, any person presenting for public acceptance or general information, arguments or suggestions in favor of social equality or of intermarriage between whites and Negroes shall be guilty of a misdemeanor and subject to a fine not exceeding $500 or imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or both, fine and imprisonment in the discretion of the court. And now this is something that we need to bring back. And that was in Mississippi 1920. I'll read that again. This is something that we need to bring back right here. Any person presenting for public acceptance or general information, arguments, or suggestions in favor of social equality or of interracial marriage between whites and Negroes shall be guilty of a misdemeanor and subject to a fine not exceeding $500 or imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or both, fine and imprisonment in the discretion of the court. Mississippi 1920. Separate free schools shall be established for the education of children of African descent, and it shall be unlawful for any colored child to attend any white school or any white child to attend a colored school. Missouri, 1929. Any white woman shall suffer. Any white woman who shall suffer or permit, who shall suffer or permit herself to be got with child by a Negro or mulatto shall be sentenced to the penitentiary for not less than 18 months He was getting 2 years. These white women was getting 2 years for doing up. I mean, Salakia, for having intercourse with a black, with an African American or mulatto kid. They was getting 2 years for that. It says shall be sentenced to the pen in a penitentiary for not less than 18 months. That's in Maryland. 1924. And we got these last two. Oh, we read that one already in Tennessee, so we're just gonna read this last one. The corporate commission is hereby vested with power to require telephone companies in the state of Oklahoma to maintain separate booths for white and colored patrons when there is a demand for such separate booths. 1915, Oklahoma City. Now, I just want to let it be known out there that this spirit never died. The Jim Crow spirit in the so-called white man, it never died. It's still there to this day. We see it time and time again, whether it be Zimmerman or whether it be people in the police, Tamir Rice. I don't know people in the police, but the police, doing abusing their authority and power. Recently, we just seen the so-called white man take the black man off the stage from shaking his daughter's hand in graduation. Like, that's the same spirit as the Jim Crow laws. Same one. It never left. It's still here to this day. What else you got that's here to this day? That we should take up some separation, man. We can't live together with these people. We tried it time and time again, and it always come back to bite us in the ass. Every time. Martin Luther King. We're gonna start there. Let's start there. This man was nonviolent. He loved them white women, nonviolent. Killed this man. And my conspiracy thing, inside job, of course. They'd never tell you. Inside job. But he was nonviolent. How you killed a nonviolent nigga? Then Malcolm X, he was violent. Violence against those that commit violence against you. Killed him. His own people. They paid his people to kill him. So they killed both of them people. You can't be violent or non-violent. They just want you to be controlled. That's all. At the end of the day, they just want to control you. Which is crazy. And I want to read this one more thing about the Okay, now we have the Ku Klux Klan was founded in Pulaski, Tennessee in 1866. It says to combat Reconstruction reforms and intimidate African Americans. Wow. Remember I was talking to y'all about those secret societies? This is one of them. The Ku Klux Klan, definitely a secret society. This is one of them right here. It says, let me read that one more time. The Ku Klux Klan, what the hell is Ku Klux? The Ku Klux Klan was founded in Pulaski, Tennessee in 1866 to combat Reconstruction reforms and intimidate African Americans. By 1870, similar organizations such as the Knights of the White Camellia
and the white brotherhood has sprang up across the South. Though, through fear, brutality, and murder, these terrorist groups helped overthrow local reform-minded governments and restored white supremacy, and then largely faded away.
That's a lie. They did not fade away. You know where they went? To the government. They went to the government. They went to the court system, the Supreme Court. They went to the FBI, the CIA, the America. No, I just got that from Tupac though. They went to the FBI, the CIA, the police, the Planned Parenthood, the government, judges, politicians, presidents. What else? Give me more. Fire department. Because the fire department in early years, they was not helping black people when if the Ku Klux Klan came and set your house on fire, the fire department would just watch it burn. Crazy work. Because they never, because that was their people that did that. See how I just said they largely faded away. They didn't fade away. They went into positions of power to control the masses. They said, hey, we ain't got to do this out loud. We could do this from behind closed doors. Hint, those secret societies that they be talking about that go out to that Ryan Garcia was talking about, that go out to the little Bohemian Grove and do all that queer gay stuff. Hugging trees naked, all that type of deal. And I knew about them way before Ryan Garcia even said anything. The Bohemian Grove. Drake promotes the Bohemian Grove with the owl. If y'all know about the owl, do y'all research. If y'all don't know about the owl, do y'all research. It's the Bohemian Grove. Drake promotes that. But anyways, like I was saying, crazy work. There's one more thing on the KKK. It says, by the mid-1920s, the Klan was again in powerful political By the mid-1920s, the Klan was again a powerful political force in both the South and the North, spreading hatred against African Americans, immigrants, Catholics, and Jews, and Jewish. Klan membership plummeted later in the decade after a series of scandals involving its leadership. But by then, the Klan had influenced racial hatred and strengthened the political power of white supremacists in many parts of the country. This Ku Klux Klan robe and hood date from 1920. And they showing a picture of it. But this is a lie. They all went into these skull and bone societies. These are your presidents. The Ku Klux Klan, this is your presidents. These are the people that come up with laws they came up with the Constitution. When was the Constitution made? When we was in slavery. So definitely none they said in there had us in mind as good people. So you got to look at those things, man. They never, in America, they only want us to entertain them. That's why the basketball people get paid. The basketball, the football, the baseball, the soccer, more. All the sports, all of the boxing, the MMA, the swimming,
What else? Tennis, golf. These people get paid way more than the doctors. The doctors, than the firefighters today, than your pediatricians, your nurses, the people that save your life. They don't get paid as much as the athletes do, because today the Ku Klux Klan, they want us to entertain them. It's like a movie to them. They already got the wealth and got the bank system and got the land and got all they need is some entertainment. Now that's why they able to pay us that much. And on top of that, this is a side note. Don't America print the money? So how are we ever in debt? It's a big lie, man. You can't believe these people, man. You have to do deeper research on why things are the way they are. And if we all, as Blacks, Natives, and Hispanics, come back to this Bible and start living out this Bible, because everything in this Bible is for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All the royalty in this Bible are the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If we could just come back to that, and I ain't talking about no Christianity, no Baptist, no freaking Catholic stuff. None of that. I'm talking about living as Israelites. I'm talking about living as the royal people, men of war, virtuous women, training up kids, training up young men to be future warriors. This is the things that can bring us out of the state that we in. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that can repair the Black people, the Hispanic people, the Native American people. And you know who don't want that? The so-called white man, the heathens of this earth. They don't want us to come together, because why? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. If our sisters, if our Hispanic sisters and our Black sisters and Native Indian sisters come together, what's gonna happen? They're gonna put the nail salons out of business. They're gonna put the hair salon, the value beauty out of business, because they gonna be starting up these businesses and they're gonna be shopping amongst themselves. So that's a way that can keep the money in our community, and not ship it out to China or out to who else running these industries? Mostly China, and because who got the beauty supply stores? The Chinese. Who got the nail salons? The Japanese, which are all the same people, if you ask me. Chris Tucker went lying when he was talking about all y'all look alike in rush hour. That's a fact. And that goes back to Genesis, why they look alike. You just have to get in this Bible and look for the answers. And how you read this Bible is not from front to back. This ain't your ordinary book. This book must be read here a little, there a little. You know what I'm saying? You can't just read this because it's not gonna make sense to you. And maybe if you do read it like that, maybe it wasn't meant for you. Simple as that. But like I was saying though, if we was to come together, our sisters, because we already know the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American sisters in that kitchen is no comparison. I wish we can do that. I wish we could have a cook-off with the so-called white lady, who else they got? The African lady, and who else they got? The Chinese woman. Put all three of them in the kitchen versus the so-called Black sister, so-called Hispanic sister, and the so-called Native Indian sister. We're gonna blow them out the water, man. Because we flavorful. They're not flavorful. They gonna put some dung, messing with that African woman, they gonna put some dung in the food. Messing with that white woman, they ain't gonna put no flavor in the food. Messing with that Chinese one, they gonna put some squid on your plate, which is disgusting. when in our community, in the black community, we eat nachos and tacos and empanadas and all that type of deal. You know what I'm saying? We and that's every other day, daily, monthly, weekly. We eat that type of deal. We and then I know some Hispanic brothers and sisters that do the soul food, like the soul cooking, the chicken, the meatloaf, the mashed potatoes, and I'm talking about mashed potatoes from scratch. Not no bought powder form mashed potatoes. No, that's easy work. No, our sisters get those mashed potatoes. Some of them skin them. Some of them cook it with the skin on. I'm talking about creative in that kitchen. We the most creative, innovative people that's on the earth, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So when it comes to that kitchen, not only the sisters, but you throw the men in there. You throw the men on the grill. You throw the men in the what else they do, steam or something like that. I know some men that can throw down in that kitchen too now. Like fire food, reckless with it. ISUPK approved. If you can't cook and you in ISUPK, refer to the next sister or get some lessons from your sister or brother, preferably your sister, because hey man, see for yourself is all I can say. And we can just have that cook off. If I had a TV show, it'd be called Versus, and it'd be always my brothers and sisters versus some heathens, and I ain't eating the heathen food. We gonna have a heathen tasted heathen food. Crazy, and the generals or captains tasting our sisters' food. You know what I'm saying? And 10 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans gonna come out on top with the best tasting food, the best presented, the best, just overall everything when it comes down to it. And the so-called white man knew that when he tried to give us all these bottom feeding things, and we turned it into something that looked good, even though the Bible says it ain't. But I'm talking about like during the slavery days, when he gave us them chitlins. Sisters then cooked that up, put some seasoning on that, gave us them crabs and them lobsters. He the one that gave us that stuff, thinking that we wasn't gonna fillet that joint and come out with something hot. Now he considered that stuff a delicacy, but now we consider that stuff unlawful according to the Bible, and that's how it should be. In slavery, we didn't have no choice but to eat that stuff, but today we do have a choice. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. It's the only way. All these schools that's teaching you all come together, and nowadays these women can't even define a woman. I can define a woman. A person that can have a baby. A person that gets pregnant off top. Easy. A woman that was born that way. You can't surgical yourself to become a woman. You're born as what you're born as. And those are the facts that they don't. It seemed like today America want to take the facts and then confuse them with feelings. Confuse them with how you feel. Oh, you feel like a woman? You are a woman. That's a lie. You feel like a woman because you're feminine. Cupcake. Salaki. You feel like a woman because what? I don't even know how you would feel like a woman. If it's not learned behavior, if somebody didn't teach you that, I don't know how you would feel like a woman, truth be told. But I don't even know how I got to that subject. But like I was saying, man, the topic of today's class was how they divide us, how they turned us, not divide us, but turned us against each other. And that's something that we need these black spaces to discuss this. Why are we so concerned about other people's relationships or You know how they got so much of these podcasts nowadays talking about how real women should act and how real men should act. How did we come to this point? Because at the end of the day, it ain't nothing but bashing each other. It's nothing but bashing each other. And you know why they get so much traction on that? Because the white man pays for that. Oh, I like that. Keep bashing the men. Oh, I like that. Keep bashing the woman. You get paid off of that. Because it's at the end of the day, it's division. When we should be really talking about the crimes that were committed against us as a nation of people. We should be really talking about how we can come back together and realizing, well, we didn't do this to ourselves. Who did do this to us? You know what I mean? It's really about, it really should be about innovative thinking, like inventing things and, things of this nature. When the last time you heard somebody invent something? And I might be talking, and I'm not talking about Shark Tank. As soon as somebody invents something on Shark Tank, boom, stole it. Soon as somebody, that's what Shark Tank is. It's probably like one black dude on Shark Tank. And I rarely see him buy something or, whatever they do on there. I rarely see him do anything with anything. Because once you come to them with your invention and it look good and it look like it make some money, they make an offer on it. I'll give you this and this, such and such. We're going to sell this many. Then they offer you that. If you take that offer, you ain't going to never see that again. You ain't going to never see your product again, man. Last person I seen invent something, he got taken out. It was a couple people. They magically got unalived magically. And it's not a conspiracy theory. This is facts. If y'all look up the men who invented the car engine that can run on water, I think it's like 3 of them. And then all of them came up unalived. One of them was the security guard in that Buffalo shooting not too long ago. I think it had to be like a year or two ago. When that Buffalo shooting happened in that supermarket, he was the security guard. And this could be I don't know, because secret societies will do this. The mass shooting was a cover-up to just take him out. They wanted him taken out. They just wanted to shoot a couple. They just wanted to shoot a couple other people to make it seem like it was just like a rampage. But the objective was to take him out, because why? If that engine that run on that car engine, it's a car engine, his truck ran on water, not gas. You know where you can find water anywhere. His car ran on water. Now, if that invention was to be produced massively to the mass, what was it going to do? Put $1 trillion gazillion business out of business, which is the gas business. Every year, the gas companies raise and lower the gas prices. For what? I don't know. When we already seen a couple men invent these car engines that run on water, and it could have been pushed. We didn't need no gas after that. But you know who couldn't have that? The secret societies, the powers that be. These people couldn't have that because why? It cost them money. That's where you got to hit them at, in their pockets. Once you start inventing your own stuff that and you don't need them, oh, they can't have that. They cannot have that. We need the number to where he at, where he be. We gonna and then it really be over when they have a meeting with you and you don't take their offer. Oh, you really offended them then, because they want your invention off the streets. They don't want you to ever even say anything about it to anyone, especially if it's going to cost them trillions. It's going to be a massive cover up. They're going to put hundreds of millions behind. And then on top of that, who's to say that these people are really behind bars that did these massive shootings? Who's to say that? Ain't nobody going to check on these people. Ain't nobody going to make sure these people in jail. They just say anything, and y'all believe anything that the TV say. He was sentenced to 35 years, and who's going to go make sure these people is still locked up? No, nobody ever does it. Nobody ever does it. They can say this person got sentenced to 35 years. He served about a week. Next thing you know, he getting transferred, probably out the country somewhere, living free. All because it was paid. They was paid to do this, man. They get paid to do certain things. These people are bought to do certain things in America. Keep the people in debt. Keep the people working, and so you don't really have let me see, a relaxed life. They want you to work 24/7 from when are you first able to work? I think it's 15. From 15 to you about 75 or 80. Then maybe you get a pension. Maybe you get to join a union. Maybe you get a 401k. Just maybe, but that's not including the people who come here illegally, as far as the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, even though they can't come here illegally because they was here first. So how are they illegal? But not to mention that, not to mention the people that get paid under the table, or the people that don't got no 401k, no pension, no union jobs. They just working, paycheck to paycheck, man. And that's sad to say, but it's very true. So ultimately, Blacks, Natives, Hispanics out there, man, y'all need to come back to this Bible. It's very important. Because when the Most High sends his son back, he's going to send them back to divide the people. Okay, you are Israelite, you're over here. You're Hispanic, you're here. You're Native American, you're here. We all going to be on this side. Then the heathen going to be on this side. And you know who's going to be with the heathen? The people who love the heathen, the people who love to sin, the people who don't see, who love everybody, the people who love to, who don't believe in that type of sort of thing. And they just gonna, and not only them, the people that's in the middle. That's what I meant to say. The people that's in the middle, they gonna get spit out right with the heathen. Spit right with them. They gonna, why am I over here? I love everybody. Nah, the Bible never says that God loves everybody. Never. That's something the Christian pastor taught, and y'all were on the drug called Christianity. Now y'all need to be it's like y'all need to be, y'all not brainwash, y'all need to wash y'all brain from that Christianity. Because why? Christianity allows them elemental people inside the church. Christianity teaches that the laws are done away with. Christianity allows you to have all these interracial marriages. When I say interracial marriages, I mean Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans with so-called white people, so-called Japanese, African. All these heathen nations, that's what Christianity allows. Christianity allows anybody in. Like, you could be white, American, African, Japanese, Ethiopian. You could be anybody and get into Christianity, when that's not what the Bible teaches. The Bible don't teach that at all. Not for a second, or not for a chapter, not for a scripture that the Bible says everyone can join hands. That's what happened in what was it, the Tower of Babel or something like that? Or was it the Tower of Babel? Either the Tower of Babel or Sodom and Gomorrah. Either one, but both of those things are destroyed. Why? Because they believe the Lord loves everybody. They wanted to come together like America, allowing heathens in, and all this stuff. This is just a big melting pot of all the races. When the Lord come back, He gonna take that steaming sword. Now, see, I believe this is what I envision the Lord's sword will look like. If y'all ever seen that Wolverine, I think it's called The Wolverine, where he when he was going to that Chinese dude, and the Chinese dude was in that suit that looked like a shredder. He looked like Shredder. But all in all, the Chinese dude was trying to take his regeneration power. But the sword that he had, it heated up. That's what I imagine the Lord's sword would look like. His sword gonna heat up. You know what I'm saying? His sword gonna turn it. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like an infernal sword. His sword was flame. It's like a steel. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but his sword heats up at the points on each side, and he gonna slice apart this nation, man, separating us and them. Like, now's the time to pick your side, man. You can't be on both sides. You can't be in the middle, because things are happening daily. I know y'all noticed that the days are going past way faster. It's like time speeded up. And you know what that means? The Esau knows that his time is running out even faster. Like, it's at the shot clock now. Shot clock has been ticking away on his ass. It is almost time for him to give up that seat. You know what I mean? It's almost that time. Esau knows this. That's why he pushing every agenda. He trying to put the woman over the man. He pushing every agenda, like left and right. It's a new thing coming on, or left and right. It's a new dance that got the woman shaking their behinds and doing all this, or it's a new trend that got men painting their fingernails, or crazy. And you know he paid them to do that. They're not just doing that for no reason. It's an agenda, man. Trying to make the male feminine, trying to make the female masculine. Y'all need to see that. Y'all, if y'all don't see that, I don't know what's going on. It's people that y'all see, y'all got eyes, but y'all don't see. Y'all got ears, but y'all don't hear. Like, it is crazy work how my people are misled by the media, by social media, and influenced. When the only thing you should be influenced by is this Bible. I know it's tough because, you know, social media got all the you could just sit there and on social media, you could just sit there, scroll. You ain't got to do much but heart a picture, comment, scroll, posts. But this Bible, it requires some action. You have to put these things, you have to apply these things to your life. And that's what my people is. They want to be comfortable. They want to be lazy. I admit I fell into that category a little bit myself, but you know, you have to work to get up out of there. You have to work to get that lazy spirit up off of you. Work. Nothing, like I said before, nothing that's worth having is easy. What's easy out here? Social media is easy. You can post whatever, cause controversy. You can, you know, whatever. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? Relationships ain't easy. As far as male and female, it's not easy. Especially when you learn in this Bible and you have certain things that you have to apply when you learn it. Like, when I learned a lot of things in this Bible, I had to apply it, because if not, I'm not following the Bible. I'm just continuing to live, trying to be my old self. That's against the Bible. We're supposed to be somebody new once we learn these things. And sometimes it's hard, but it's definitely worth it. You know, you have to endure to the end. Endure. That's what the scriptures say. You know what I'm saying? Stop being so easily influenced and so easily distracted. You know, I know the distractions, and that's another thing. Satan is trying to throw his distractions out there more and more to get you to come to that other side, man. But I say, and the Bible say, endure to the end. Hold your post. Endure to the end. You're gonna be greatly thankful and rewarded that you did. You know, all this that we do in the Isupk is not for nothing. It's for our King. We preparing for our King to come back, and we're preparing him so he can make so it's easier on him to separate us from these people, to separate us from the lukewarm people that's in the middle. You know, we making it easier. I don't know if we is, but that's how I'd like to look at it. Because if you ain't in this Bible, you ain't making it easy. Because at the end of the day, the Lord loves his people, but he's a man of war. And if you on that side, you're in the strike zone. You crossing that gun line, boss, as they said on life. Salakia. Crossing that gun line, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard to cut the people off that you grew up with, or the people that still on that same path. You know, people and let me throw the little weed in there. People just, you know, stuck on the weed. Stuck on the weed. That's why it's legal in some states, because the so-called white man wants you to be lazy and stuck on the drug, having to use somebody else's piss to get a job, being deceitful, using somebody else's piss to get a job, when you could just quit smoking altogether and you can use your own piss. Straight like that. Straight like that. Being high around dangerous activities and all this old stuff, man. When you can quit that, put the weed down, put the drugs down, pick up a Bible, pick up a card from the Isupk in the city near you, around you, we even overseas, man. Canada, Mexico, Jamaica. This truth would not be silenced. He is opening up the internet and the airwaves. You know what I mean? This is a PSA out there. If y'all want to get right with the Lord and be in the truth and follow the truth to the T, come to the Isupk, man. No matter where you at, we in here we show brotherhood and sisterhood. We do everything decently in order. And it's like that. If you have any ailments, any counseling you need, therapy, free. It's free. Everything is free classes. Free classes as well. I meant to say, Slaki. You know, follow the real men of the Lord and the sisters of the Lord. You know, and with that, this has been the Isupk coming out of Harlem, New York, 1 West, under commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with no other Israelite groups, period. I know it's like, I seen alone now they recommend these channels to me. I've never watched a video from these people a day in my life. I was going to say some of the groups, but I don't want to give them no publicity because they ain't in the truth. But it's like over 10 groups out there that's not the Isupk, and we ain't affiliated with none of them. This has been Isupk Milwaukee Monday history class. I'm Officer 50 Kananya. Shalom, Israel. Bye, Yashala. Oh man. Oh man.